What does the state of polarization look like by the people who actually live, work and function here? People, some of whom have a political role and some of whom just live and function here. I'm joined by a group of individuals who've been kind enough to give me their time. We've got a businessman who works here, Ajay. We've got someone from the BJP who's here, Akshay. We've got a youngster, Ishwar Shetty also, who's a well-wisher of the BJP, but he's also a businessman, a young entrepreneur from Coastal Karnataka. So let's get a view from them on polarization, because it also affects the things that they actually do. Ishwar, I'd like to start with you. Coastal Karnataka has become known in the outside world for polarized issues. Once you come here, you realize there's so much more going on here. It's not just the polarization. But as far as the polarization issues, communal tension, things like that, how are things right now? What is your perception of it?
To be frank, I feel it's pretty much controlled in the last 5 years, as it was seen earlier. Well, this would have been done by the earlier opposition parties just in terms of communal hatred as such, but now it's pretty much controlled. Well, if you see the recent hijab issue, it was more of a conspiracy that PFI and CFI, they have togetherly combined and they've done this. Basically, getting into facts of it, the uniform rule existed much before, even when the Congress was in power, right? So this is all a communal tension just to drift within the... See, here it's what BJP plays in terms of Hindutva, right? We don't get into the caste politics, we don't get into the the other matters. Well, if I have to talk apart from the party, if you head towards the northern part of Karnataka, there's some part of caste politics that happens, Vokkaliga, Lingat, but here it's not. Here it's all just about Hindutva versus the others, right? The main part about Hindutva is you're not anti any other religion, but you're just about talking about Hindutva here in the coastal part. Okay. So that's how it's been, and it's pretty much controlled in the last 5 years, and I'm sure we are going to do much better in the coming years ahead. Okay, because also polarization issues which had dominated in the year 2022, they've visibly been played down during this election campaign. You're not hearing very many of those issues that we actually talked about. Ajay, you're a businessman, who work here. Political stability, is the highest priority for people who are in business. How is the last few years been for someone like you? With polarization, with issues that can affect stability being prevalent.
I feel polarization is more of manufactured, by media and certain vested elements. As you know, the coastal Karnataka is a very peaceful state. It is very conducive for business. You'd see a large amount
one sees that once you come here.
Yeah, exactly. And it's very safe for tourists, and there's hardly any kind of a riot or such kind of a thing happening here. But I would like to add one thing, is that the people over here are very nationalist. They do not really vote much on the caste issues as much as the media would like to talk about. Yes, but they do support Hindutva. And I think there's nothing to be apologetic about supporting Hindutva, because Hindutva is that aspect of Hinduism. It is that aspect which protects us. So it is an attempt to rediscover our roots and reinstate our values on political front. So as I think a citizen of a country, it is a duty of every Hindus to make sure that they are politically, assertive. There's nothing wrong in that.
Okay. Your point is well taken, and I can tell you that as far as the media highlighting certain fault lines is concerned, it is something that the media in many occasions needs to introspect about. Though I can say that on India today, we do reflect a certain balance as far as critical and emotive issues like these are concerned. In fact, for this discussion, I'd like our viewers to know we had tried to invite the SDPI also to join this discussion, just to get everyone together and have a discussion instead of amplifying and making these fault lines such a difficult barrier to cross. But those barriers have been difficult to cross, Sandeep. You've worked with the RSS, you do a lot of work as well. The kind of crossfire and finger pointing between organizations like the RSS and the SDPI is what has fueled this polarization.
Yeah. On a high level, we always see that RSS been pulled out into the issues that are not even an issue, or neither RSS involves in such activities. As long as the RSS is concerned, their primary goal is only to work towards nation building. And somewhere, any issues that were related to Hinduism or something, RSS always gets portrayed as an organization that involves into this. But as far as we know, that we have been working on the daily shakas, these things related to Hinduism and the polarization or hatred towards any community, that never have been taught in RSS Shaka or neither the RSS. So,
okay. So because the SDPI refused to be part of this discussion, we still, extend them a welcome to, be part of any debates that we have here on India Today, because, like many other channels, we provide factual analysis and coverage of issues, especially when they affect peace, and stability in places like coastal Karnataka. Akshay, to bring you in now, the BJP is of course the ruling party in Karnataka at this point of time. Yes. The Chief Minister of Karnataka very recently at an India Today event, dismissed all, polarizing issues, saying those are of no consequence in this policy this time, because it was different in 2018. In 2018, the narrative was very much about polarization.
That's true. When BJP has come to power, the earlier government had a big issue with polarization. There were a lot of murders which had happened at the last government. But when we took over the government, you can see a lot of changes have happened, and there is no Hindu-Muslim debates at all. Neither the people are calm here. So I don't think so polarization is an issue in this election. So the only vote factor will be the growth what is given by BJP counts.
Okay. Ajay, what would be your wish list going forward? Every election is a opportunity for new beginnings, new things. Whether it is the BJP, whether it is the Congress, the public will decide. That we will know on May 10th. But as a businessman, as a private individual, with skin in the game, as it were, in terms of stability, what would be your wish list? I mean, I can understand you feeling frustrated when you see the media headlines about polarization. The only time you see Mangaluru and Udupi and Karnataka in the headlines, perhaps in the so-called national media, is when it is about hijab or halal or azan, etc. What would be your wish list as far as this election is concerned?
I would like to say that if a new government would be formed, we should have a more business-friendly policies, increase the ease of business, have more infrastructural push, give us the best possible infrastructure. For example, like Udupi Mangalore has a great potential for tourism. When I look at Udupi, I see a lot of similarities between a city in Italy called Florence. So you will have educational hub. Here we have so many big jewelers. For example, if you look at Udupi Mangalore, the amount of jewelry that the people purchase here is astonishing. And in Florence, when I went there, I saw there's a narrow street called Jeweler Street. There's hardly they're selling real gold, or it's a very small street. So the focus should be more on increasing the revenue of people, have the make our lives more comfortable. I don't think peace and security is a problem in Karnataka as such. Karnataka is by far a very peaceful state, and Udupi Mangalore is extremely safe, so that's not an issue. So this is my wish list.
Okay. So, I would propose to all political parties that perhaps their next big slogan ought to be less polarization, more infrastructure. Because I think that's what the real responsibility of all political parties must be. We are not going to lecture people and say this is how you must run things, this is how you must do things. But we will always ask the questions here on India Today, because that is what we do. Thank you to all of you for being with me here on this. Thank you so much.